Hey, this is Chris Hill with Manheim Digital. Today we're taking a look at My Account. So My Account is essentially Manheim's online banking system. It allows dealers to make payments, set notifications, and search for vehicles that have been bought or sold. So we're going to go in here today and actually set ourselves up to be able to make payments. So by default, dealership principals already have My Account. The only thing they have to do is go in here and confirm banking information. So that's what we're going to do. We start off by clicking the payments and then clicking on Register for Online Payments. Now that we're here in this screen, we can see our bank account information. So this is the information that the auction already has on file. Behind the blurred out image there is your bank account. And now we need to actually click on our bank account and enter some information. So we have to enter the routing number and our account number. So we'll go over here and we'll actually enter in our routing number, the one for the bank account that's already on file at the auction. Now we'll go over to the next box and enter in our account number right there. After we've done that, now we'll need to confirm the agreement and click the Agree button and click Add. So we're actually adding this to our My Account. Once we see our confirmation message, we now know that we can make payments. So at the bottom of the screen, there's two different options that we can choose. We got two different links. One is that we can click there, right, to go into making payments, or we can actually look at our accounts. These are our banking accounts. So if we had multiple accounts on file, we could see all of them right here. Right now we only have one on file, and we just added it, so we don't want to delete it. Remember that you can't actually make a payment inside My Account until you've gone in and confirmed your banking information first. But now that we've just completed that, we can actually get into making a payment. So to do that, we're going to click on Auction Balance and make the decision between auction listings or MAVs. So let's go to Manheim Auto Auction and look for vehicles that were bought at auction but not on our MAVs account. So we're going to scroll down and look for the vehicles that we've bought, and one actually already has a checkbox. That's a payment that is currently open, a payment that we've already made for that Mercedes. So let's make a new payment. As a best practice, it's always a good idea to give your payments a name so you can remember what those payments were later on. Now after you make a name, notice to the left of this vehicle there's a box there. Don't be tempted to check that box. If you do, it'll actually remove that vehicle from the payment making process. So just take note that any payment made after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time won't actually hit your account for 2 days. So make all payments before 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So now let's take a look at our open payments. The open payments are the payments that we've just made that still haven't yet hit our bank account. You can see there that the status is pending. Remember the Mercedes from earlier, the one we couldn't check the box for? That's because we already made a payment for that Mercedes. It wouldn't allow us to pay twice. Now we can also see the Mustang that we've just made the payment for as well. So now that we've seen our payments, we know that they still have to hit our bank account, let's make a MAVs payment. So you always get a reminder just letting you know about the status of MAVs and making payments for those. Also take note of the legend. Vehicles that are in orange have a curtailment due. Vehicles that are in red have a full payment that is due. So let's go and let's look for a vehicle that we want to make a payment for. So let's do this Ford truck here. And this Dodge and this Chevrolet. We'll come down and click Create Online Payment. And then again, as a best practice, always a good idea just to give your vehicles a name. Or the payment that you're going to make a name. So we're going to call this MAVs Vehicles Bought, let's say in November, because that's when I can see these were bought. So once we come down, again, don't click the delete because that'll take any of those out unless you do want to actually take them out. And by clicking on the box here to the right, this will actually change that to either be a full payoff or a curtailment. So we're going to leave those unchecked so it's just a curtailment payment and click Continue. Just as a reminder, again, any payment made after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will not actually hit your account for 2 business days. So we'll click Submit, and there we are. The payment for MAVs Vehicles Bought in November has been made, and that payment then sits in our open payments with a status of pending until that payment actually hits our bank account, which if we did it after 9 p.m. could take up to 2 business days. So now let's turn on notifications and search for some vehicles. So to turn on notifications, we need to actually go into Manage Preferences. Inside Manage Preferences, we can make some changes as to the information that we see in our auction listings or MAV listings, but what's really important is to turn on those notification preferences. So I want to be notified when an arbitration status or a title status changes. To do that, we have to check the box and put in a default email address to where we'd like those notifications to come. So there we go, and that has been set. We can now turn on notifications for any single vehicle we choose. So let's do a vehicle search and turn that on. So we can either do that by turning it on one vehicle at a time as we're looking at transaction information about the vehicle, or we can turn them multiple on. So let's actually do a vehicle history search now and find a vehicle that we'd like to turn one notification on for. So we'll look at Manheim Atlanta, September 2010 through September 2011 and click search. Once we get those results, we can pick a vehicle that we have some interest in. So let's say that I need some information about the transaction itself, maybe the seller, maybe the buyer information. So we're going to click on that vehicle and come in here. Now again, all kinds of information about the transaction itself, sell information, the buyer information, the transaction information itself, like lane and run number, arbitration status, title received, all kinds of great information that you might actually need. So now to turn on the notification for this vehicle while we're already in here, we just click on and click Set Notification. Now that notification's been turned on. If we go to our Notifications tab, we can see that it's right there. So if we didn't want to receive any more notifications like arbitration status or title status, we could check the box to the right and click on Update. We're going to go ahead and leave that one turned on though. Let's now do multiple notifications for multiple vehicles. So let's do that same search again, Manheim Atlanta, September 2010 through 11. Click on search, and you can see when we get to the bottom that one vehicle actually already has that notification turned on, so we can't check it again. So let's do the other two right here. We don't have to go into the vehicle information to do this, we can just click those boxes. So now we can see that all three of those vehicles have been turned on, and we will get notifications for those until we change our mind or decide otherwise. So My Account is a very easy tool for customers to use to make payments, to search for vehicles that have been bought or sold, or to turn on notifications so they know the status of their vehicles. After this overview, you may have additional questions about My Account and how it works. I reached out to Eva Reyes at 866 Manheim to actually help me answer some of the questions I had. He and other coordinators are here to help if you have any questions about any of this functionality. So thanks for taking a look at My Account. I'm Chris Hill.